Hello and welcome back. It's me, again, Steven, as if it would be anybody else. And sadly, I have to inform you that, once again, I don't have a video for you really this week. It really sucks, honestly, it does. I've really been wanting to make more videos, but really the big update is that the weather turned sour again. It got cold again. We're in the 30s to low 40s here, and that's not good for the refractory to try to cure in for the forge that I am supposed to be assembling from Mr. Volcano. They say that you need to be in the 50-degree area, minimum. So, yeah, that really sucks. The other thing is, I did find my old streaming camera. You can see it off to the side here. This is Canon Vixia, and this little arm that I've got going on here is for top-down shots, which is really cool. Now you may be asking yourself, why? Who cares? Well, I care, first of all, because it's a good camera. It does only record in 1080p, but that's all I upload. This Canon that I'm filming on right now, this DSLR, only films in 1080p, and it doesn't even do that while I'm recording in this format. So you may notice that this video is a little bit choppier than normal, or the resolution isn't as high. Sorry about that. But I need to get something up so that you, lovely people, know what's going on. So I want to do the forge. I also want to do some top-down video stuff. I gesture up here because that's where the camera is off the top of my desk and out of my way. But I also want to do some leatherwork videos. I've got some leatherwork that I got asked to do a long time ago, and I forgot about it for a while, and I found the materials fairly recently, and I'm like, hey, I should probably try to do that. So maybe we'll throw something together there. And then I also want to do some stuff with, with this. This is balsa wood. Why? I don't know, it just grows up as balsa wood. No, it's because I've got some set pieces I want to do for D&D stuff coming up soon. I've got some ideas on what I want to do for that as far as like DM screen potentially, or some landscape ideas that I've been picking up lately. And that'd be pretty nifty to do, honestly. But we'll see how it goes. I'm not sold on the idea of that for a video yet. I also have some other ideas for maybe some 3D printing videos and the like. So I've got more content. I just haven't had the time. And I should probably explain to you why I haven't had the time, because lately I've just been saying, sorry, I haven't had the time. Man, planning really would have helped me out right about now. No, really what it comes down to is a really irritating situation, right? So I started out this semester in a probability and statistics class, and I was nervous about that, and I'll talk about that for a second. But then I was also in a business information systems class at my university. And the first day of class, I looked at my itinerary for probability and statistics, and it showed that I had stuff due every day for like 2 months. And then the last month was going to be like every other day, which if you're a student or have been a student, means the content is more difficult, which makes sense because it's later in the semester. But what surprised me was when I got into the actual platform for learning for that particular class for probability and statistics, it was only one section of a chapter. I thought it was going to be one chapter per day. And I was losing my mind because I don't read things well. Not because I have a hard time like reading, but because I have a hard time being engaged in reading. I can thank my programmer brain all I want to, but it's also just me being lazy. That being said, it ended up only being one section per day, which turned out was actually something incredibly doable in a matter of like a couple of hours for the entire week. So I could get that done on the weekends. That's why I didn't really run into too much of an upload issue early on. The other reason I didn't run into an upload issue early on in the semester, January or February especially, going into March even, was because my business information systems class, the professor decided to be completely AWOL for 21 days. 21 days. We couldn't get a hold of him. Nobody in the class could get a hold of him. Nobody was getting like responses. I think one person got like one response. Privately, there were no announcements made. There was no expectation. There was no communication. We only had a student introduction and then one group assignment, and then the due dates were all scattered. There were no due dates in the gradebook that made sense. He sent out one announcement about updated grading and updated due dates, but then went AWOL for the 21 days. And then after 21 days, finally gets back to us and says, oh, hey, we're going to do this simulation now in this software you've never used before. I'm like, what? And so we get in there and he keeps calling it a game. And that we're going to go up against other team members, up against other classmates in different teams, but we don't have any idea what we're doing. We don't know what the objective is, and there are no concrete criteria for what a success case is, which means that we don't know what we need to do to win the game. We don't know what we need to do to receive a decent grade. Something sounds screwy to you? Because something sounds screwy to me in that regard. That sounds awful. Awful. So, what did we do? Nothing. I did a little bit of reading here and there, but honestly, the amount of reading that was supposedly assigned was awful. I mean, it was no joke. I would have been sitting at my desk for 2.5 hours a day, every day for the entire semester to get through it. And then there were videos that were sometimes 8 minutes long, which is fine, all the way up to like an hour and 10 minutes long or something like that. It was insane. And I might be exaggerating a little bit on those, but I don't think I am. Some of the videos weren't even published anymore. Some of them were taken down in private for whatever reason. And the entire class schedule was disorganized and difficult to follow. There was a lot of fluff material. And then not long after that, after the first group project was due and the first individual discussion, we had a midterm on stuff we didn't even do, stuff we didn't know we had to do. And being that I've been in software engineering for 9 years, as of next month, actually, I have a decent amount of industry knowledge, and I ended up doing very well on the midterm. I got a 97 out of 100, but I can't imagine anybody else in the class that isn't in the industry or in an industry that would use these tools would have done well. To cap it all off, actually, no, not to cap it all off. Well, another thing is that none of the readings beyond week 2 were applicable to any of the any of the assignments, the group assignments or the individual assignments, honestly, for simulations or experiences in the class. None of the reading, none of the video material was useful for the assignments. That's pretty rough. So now we'll cap it all off. After the professor told us that he would not overload us in the end, would not kill us with assignments at the end, what did he do? He set 6 of our assignments due within 2 weeks of each other. As in the span of 14 days, there were 6 assignments due. 3 of them were individual discussions, if I remember correctly. 2 of them were major group projects. And then the final one is lying just outside of the 14-day period. I apologize. And that's the final exam, which is mandatory. And if you don't take it, you fail the entire class. It's 50 questions, and you have 75 minutes, so you don't look up the answers. I could go on a rant all day long about the traditional mindset of higher education in the U.S. But I think most of you probably know it. If you haven't experienced it directly, you've probably heard about it from somebody else. And it's incredibly frustrating that nobody will actually try to fix it. And then you get schools like, and I don't know anything about these particular schools I'm going to bring up, or this particular school I'm going to bring up, but you get schools like Full Sail University for programming, specifically for game programming, and you hear decent things about them, but then for a long time they weren't accredited. So nobody would recognize your affidavit of graduation. And so I've tossed around the idea later on in my career and in my life. I've thought about the idea of creating a programmer trade school. And I realized pretty quickly, after about 8 or 9 months of pondering what I would do and how I would go about it, I realized that it's way too much work for me. And I would hate every moment of it. And I wouldn't want to do a disservice to somebody, you know? But it got me to thinking, why isn't anybody doing anything about this? And it turns out there are a couple of services out there. I believe Google runs a series of certification programs out there, but that's only good if your potential future employers recognize that Google is a viable source of education material for you to be a professional in the field. Now, most people would think like Google programmers, yeah, of course, but that's not necessarily the case. And I think the last time I checked, they didn't really have a full programmer program. They had one for data analytics, they have one for graphics design, and so on and so forth. Not a full comprehensive list in my mind. You can go look it up if you want to. But my point is, that's why I haven't been able to record lately. I've been so overloaded and so tired and so stressed out. I have spent anywhere between 12 and 18 hours in front of my computer every day for the last few weeks, just trying to get slideshows and Word documents done and sharing things between teammates and trying to facilitate, and tutor in some cases. And then my team ended up having one of our teammates had a very close family member pass away in the end of the semester, which is really tragic and really sad. And when that teammate confronted, or I guess confronted is a little bit of an antagonistic word, but when that teammate messaged the professor says, well, you should really talk to your team about how they want to proceed. I respect to a degree that idea, but also you're the professor. You can say what he needs to hear. Like, don't worry about grades. I've got you covered. Make sure your team is okay with you taking the time away, but I've got you covered for grades. Don't worry about that. Take the time off. Your family member just passed away. Like, how hard is that? How hard is it to have a heart in any kind of institution? I get that there are policies and there's downstream effects and et cetera, but come on, man. Come on. Most companies aren't going to fire you if you have a family member pass away. Most companies are not going to treat you like garbage and not communicate with you unless there's something very wrong with the company, in which case, get out if you possibly can. Get out, find yourself a healthy work environment, because it's where you spend most of your time as an adult human being. And sometimes, unfortunately, even kids spend most of their time. And I'm talking kids like 14 and up. I've gotten riled up. Once more, I started recording, and I didn't have a theme or an idea other than I need to give you all an update. I don't need to, but I'm going to because I respect you as human beings, and I thank you for checking out my videos. I do. And I appreciate your time. So I wanted to make a video, and here I am thinking, what am I going to update you on? What am I going to share with you? Oh, I don't have a video. I thought about doing a YouTube short, and I'm like, that's probably not the way to go about it. They only allow like 15 seconds. I was like, I can throw it on TikTok, but my TikTok followers don't necessarily follow me on, or aren't necessarily subbed to me on YouTube /Instagram /whatever. So here's my update to you. I'm sorry I don't have a video for you right now. I have a couple of reasons that I believe are valid, and I do absolutely plan on uploading again. I have the complete summer off due to a clerical error on my part. I have the full summer off of school. And I intend on putting some time into the forge, some time into some videos, and some time into some leather work as well. I want to play around with this top-down cam idea and see how it goes. See what I can get out of it, if anything. And maybe do some explainer videos on some of the things that I've done around the shop or whatever. Am I good? No. But I can show you what I know, which isn't a ton. And we can go from there. I'm really excited for that. So, be on the lookout in the future for the forge assembly video from the Mr. Volcano forge, the dual burner forge. Be on the lookout for any kind of leatherwork videos. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, because you'll get those notifications if you hit that little bell, and the YouTube gods don't hate us. You'll get a notification when I go live. So make sure you hit the bell and you hit the all notifications if that's what you're into. Otherwise, you just get whatever the algorithm serves up to you. Anyway, if you've got suggestions for videos that you want to see out of the workshop or out of storytelling, please let me know. I am more than happy to take some suggestions in, and if you've got questions for me, throw them out there. The worst I can say is I don't feel like answering that. So please feel free, throw stuff out there if you've got questions. That said, I think this excuse video is long enough as it is. So thank you so much for watching. I really, truly do appreciate your time, and it's not lost on me that you take time out of your day to watch these videos, no matter how short or long that they happen to be. I see the numbers, and I really appreciate you supporting me. So I've got more I've got to do. I've got to get this edited and uploaded tonight so that you can see it tomorrow. That's right. I'm recording this Tuesday night. It's currently 11:16 p.m. So I'm going to get this up there so that you can see it now. Until next time, have a good one.